You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Gene.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Chasing Life After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Chasing Life After Show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Chasing Life After Show. My name is Heather Joy Smith, and I'm here along with
Kristin Strange
and Michelle Phi.
And this is episode 4, and it's called "I'll Sleep When I'm Dead." And that kind of was the theme throughout the whole episode. But let's kind of backtrack because this is our first after show for AFTERBUZZ for Chasing Life. So basically, the whole show is kind of around this girl April, who is about, I would say, early 20s, 24-ish, 23-ish.
Yeah, kind of 24.
Yeah, recent graduate. She has her first job at a newspaper.
Yeah, Boston Globe.
At the Boston Globe, which is not, I don't think it's the actual newspaper, but maybe it is. Maybe it is. I don't know. Anyway, she is kind of like, she started out as an intern, but she's kind of quickly become a news reporter. And then she finds out that she has cancer, and it's leukemia. And kind of the backstory on this is she found out because she was trying to get the scoop on this baseball player, and it was at a blood drive, and she decided to go and get her blood drawn because she was trying to get the scoop. Well, come to find out, her uncle is a doctor at this hospital, and we'll kind of go into that a little bit as well, but he was the one who figured out that she had leukemia. So, do one of you kind of want to tell the backstory on the whole dad situation?
So her dad passed away in a car accident, and her uncle, the doctor, was driving. So she didn't talk to her uncle ever because they were mad because he was a terrible uncle after her dad died.
Yeah, and he didn't show up to the funeral.
Yeah, and they blamed him for killing her father, pretty much, it seems like.
Yeah, so it's kind of been this little thing that with the family that they kind of broke apart, weren't talking to the uncle, and then this situation happened where now April and her uncle George are kind of brought back together because of this unfortunate situation of her having leukemia.
Yeah, and he's a cancer doctor. So.
Yes, and he happens to be one of the best pediatric cancer doctors there is in the whole Boston area. So, we'll go into this episode, and it kind of starts out where she's attending this support group for cancer patients, and we ended last week, I believe, at the support group, and it kind of cut off, and then we started at the support group this time. And this episode, we saw a familiar face.
Yes, we
Cappy.
did.
Who?
Cappy. Cappy, he plays Leo. He's from Greek.
Yes.
He's my favorite.
I didn't know his real name.
Scott. Oh,
no,
that's not
name
his
is
real
Scott.
name.
Oh, is that his name in Greek?
His real name is Scott. His name on Greek was Cappy.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Michelle, do you want to tell us a little bit about Leo?
Well, Leo is actually the son of
Bruce
right.
Hendry.
And
he's a politician.
Yes, and he's running for, do you remember what he was running for?
I don't know the
exactly?
exact.
Mayor? Is he running for mayor?
Yeah, it's some I don't know. Politics. One of those
Mayor of
positions.
Boston, maybe?
Yeah. Well, all I remember is he was off limits to April. She wasn't allowed to write a piece on him for no apparent reason. They didn't know. But I guess now we found out that we couldn't write one on, or April couldn't write one on him because he has cancer.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So we kind of found that out in this episode while they're both at the support group. And they've actually, this wasn't their first run-in. They've run into each other a couple times now. And he actually thought that she was stalking him and kind of did this whole blow-up situation.
He was a huge jerk to her.
He was.
I was waiting for her to just be like, no, I have cancer too. There was clear, I was like, just say something. Just tell him you have cancer. And she was just like, I don't know what to do.
Well, he was kind of firing off one thing after another to her. So I don't think
Stand up for yourself, girl.
I totally agree, though.
Yeah, I mean, I just couldn't believe that. And the first session that they went to, she didn't even say a word. She just, like, ran off. And
Yeah.
That surprised me. But on the other hand, she really hasn't said anything to anybody, so it kind of makes sense. So after she went to the first support group, she was going home, or her uncle questioned her before this and said, you know, are you not sleeping? Are your gums bleeding? Like
passing out or
passing? Yeah, and she's had all these in the past.
Yeah.
So she lies to her uncle because she doesn't. I think she's kind of in denial. I don't know what you guys think.
No, I totally agree.
Oh, definitely. She's huge denial.
Huge. So she lies to him and tells him, you know, no, I don't have any of these. But clearly, she falls asleep on the train going home. And I'm not exactly sure how the whole train system works on the East Coast, but it kind of sounded like she was like an hour or so off of her stop.
They go far.
They go far.
Yeah, you could end up like on a train and be in a hole. Like you could be like an hour and a half away from your house, especially if like they are going to the suburbs of Boston and she lives in Boston. She could end up. She said she was an hour away, I think, and that's totally normal.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
So then the next day, or I don't know if it was the next day, maybe a couple days later, she goes back to the support group again. And Leo is once again there. And immediately is like, didn't you get enough the first time?
Yeah.
Like, didn't I scare you off? And then that's where he puts her on blast and was like, I just want everybody to know that she's a reporter and she's only doing a piece on me. And she's just like, no.
That was just so messed up of him. Like, he totally judged her right off the bat. I mean, they did meet in a parking lot, and she kind of ruined his bike.
Yeah. Totally.
But I don't
ruined
think
his own bike.
Yeah.
Okay, you're right. He ruined his own bike. But I don't think that gave him the right to just be rude to her. I mean, she was there for a reason. The world does not revolve around him.
No.
I don't think.
I don't think so either. So before we go on, we just want to let you guys know that since this is our first after show, that we want you to go onto iTunes and make sure to give us 5 stars and tell your friends to vote for or to rate us as well on iTunes, and make sure to download it. And if you watch it on YouTube, make sure to comment, and we will all go on and we'll comment as well.
Yay!
And then also, we have Maria Menounos' new book out about diet and fitness. It's a New York Times bestseller, and it's got lots of recipes and little tips and tricks on how you can lose weight. It's really great and got a lot of pictures so you can see different things. And everybody go out and buy it because it's amazing.
I was just looking at recipes in there today. It's like, I need to learn how to cook.
Yeah, I'm going out of town on a long flight, and so I think I'm going to go pick it up before I leave. So it'll be good. So, at the end of the support group, when April kind of blurts out, I have cancer, do we kind of think that Leo, for like a hot second, kind of felt bad for her?
I think so, yeah.
Maybe a hot second.
A hot second?
Like, maybe just that much. He was like, oh, well, then he was like, well, so do I, so I don't really care anymore.
Well, I like to think that he did care.
Maybe deep down. He internally.
He did. Yeah, okay, so
I didn't
internally.
feel like he was showing it, though. I wanted more emotion.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think if we're going to get into it, like after she asked him for that invite to his dad's party, I think he did feel sorry for her because she like kept it in the whole time. She didn't really tell him when she had a chance to the other day. But after like she asked him for that invite, he was just like, nope, like I'm not feeling sorry for you anymore because you're totally using me.
Yeah.
Like,
Totally. So that kind of brings us on to this whole event. That was kind of a huge thing in this episode where, does anyone know her coworker's name at the Boston Globe?
I think it was
Raquel.
Raquel.
Yeah, her awful boss.
Awful boss. And
I just
Raquel,
want to punch her every time she comes on the screen. I'm
Yes.
just, be nice.
be nice. I don't know why there's so much hatred in her life. I don't know.
You're supposed to be a good mentor.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Raquel is like, oh, I'm going to the Bruce Hendry event tonight as press, blah, blah, blah. And April's like, well, so am I, but I'm going as an invite.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, go girl.
Yeah. Raquel's face was like, what? And I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
That's how you do it, April. That's how you do it.
So this is actually the first time that her mom kind of started to question some things because April's trying to look for a dress to wear. and she puts on a dress that it seemed to me that she had worn previously.
Yeah.
Her mom was like, "Whoa, you lost some weight," and then she turns around and has a gigantic bruise on her back.
Yeah.
And her mom's like, "Are you okay?" And she just completely covered it up and was like, "Oh, I'm fine. I hit myself at work or, whatever." So I don't think her mom thought anything past that.
Yeah.
She kind of just brushed it under the rug.
I was kind of hoping that her mom would cancel out on the tango event that they were supposed to go to together, because before she walked into the room, like, she saw April hiding stuff in her drawer. So I totally thought she was going to, like, wait until April left and then just go digging. Because if I was her mom, I think I would do the same thing.
She's 24. You're going to go digging through your 24-year-old daughter's
Michelle,
stuff.
that would be like your mom going through your
she's
things.
on.
That's true. You're right. You're right.
I would have been so mad if her mom went digging through her stuff. I would be like, no, bad move, Mom.
Well, she needs to know. Like, she
That's
needs
the worst
to know.
way to find out, though.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
let me
true.
see the drugs that, like, my daughter just hid in her drawer, and then, like, look them up and realize she has cancer, and then, like, wait until she comes home. Like, that would be the worst possible way to figure it out.
That's true. You're right. You're right.
Although it didn't look great for next week about her, but we'll see.
We'll see. So then, April's friend, does anyone know her name? I think I wrote it down here. Beth. Beth is her best friend. Beth comes over, kind of saves the day, brings over like 20 different dresses that she can try.
That.
I'm like, I want a best friend like that.
I know, right?
Like, how
She had
amazing.
shopping bags.
She had
I'm like, she just quit her job. Where did she get that money?
Maybe she's a good saver.
Yeah.
She's a good saver.
That's a good best friend.
I'm like, she's just going to return the ones, right? After the ones that she doesn't wear. Because that's a lot of money.
So April finds this dress that looks fantastic on her, and she goes to the Bruce Hendry event for his political career, kind of like a donation campaign event, something like that.
Campaign kickoff, I think they said it was.
And if you've been watching the show, then you know that April and Dominic have kind of had like this budding romance. It's kind of flourished over the past few episodes.
Yeah.
And he is also a reporter at the Boston Globe. And he was supposed to go to the event, and then he was like, "Oh, I can't go," or he had something else.
Just didn't want to go.
He just didn't want to go. And then April's like, "Oh, good, because I'm getting this exclusive with Leo, and I don't want them to run into each other and have anything happen."
Yeah.
But
that's not how it worked
Lo
out.
and behold, he was there.
Yes.
He was like, "Oh, you came, good." Like, I'm like, you knew she was coming. That's why you came.
Exactly. And I loved when Leo walked up finally. And so it's April, Leo, and Dominic. And April's face,
her face
to Leo was like, "Don't say a word."
It was so awkward.
It was so awkward. Leo's story.
Yeah. I was like, who would go up to like a coworker though and be like, "Oh yeah, I met your coworker at a cancer support group."
Yeah.
Like,
so awkward.
I'm like, April, calm down. He's not gonna say anything.
I don't know what would be more awkward, that story or his story about running into her at a hardware store and her buying a chainsaw.
Yes.
Like, what?
That was funny though.
That was really funny.
I was like, that's typical.
So this is the event where April is supposed to get the exclusive interview with Leo on his whole cancer story and brain tumor. But things don't exactly turn out that way.
I was so mad.
I know. Same here. I didn't think he was going to tell everyone his story.
I can't believe he did that.
But what made me even madder was when her Raquel was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, was that your exclusive?" Like, oh my god,
so irritating.
I was like, okay, he just told everybody that like he has a brain tumor, but I'm like, maybe he'll like go back and be like, "Okay, I have a brain tumor. Here's all this information, and I'm only giving an interview, like a one-on-one interview with April."
Yeah.
That's how he could have made up for it. But no, then he's like, "Oh, let me ride off on my bike that I got because I told everybody that I had cancer and that my dad supported me." Clearly he doesn't.
Whose dad buys them a motorcycle because they announce that they have cancer?
Politicians.
Okay.
But technically, that could have been her exclusive.
Yes.
That totally could have been her exclusive.
Ooh, that could be in the
yeah,
predictions.
But I feel like if that was like her exclusive, I don't think she would do that though, because if that's her exclusive, that's like their cancer. That was like a Cancer Friends moment, not like a reporter interviewee moment.
But
he screwed her over though, so this is fair game.
That's-
and if his campaign money went to go pay for that motorcycle,
That's true.
ooh,
Yeah.
it's going down. So after this campaign event, Dominic and April then go to like have cocktails or late night bites.
I think they're still at the event.
They were
still at the event.
by the
They're
bar.
just by
or
the bar.
she's drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're having this little like kind of deep moment, I kind of felt like, where they're talking about Leo's cancer, and April, I think, is trying to like feel Dominic out on this whole situation. And Dominic was kind of a jerk.
He was, He goes, oh, yeah, I don't think I could handle that. And she's like, what? What do you mean you couldn't handle it? Like, you can't handle someone having cancer?
Yeah.
And she was, like, freaking out.
Like, wouldn't you feel, like connected to that person if you actually were good friends with them? Wouldn't you feel differently? He's like, no.
I couldn't believe he said that.
I don't think he was thinking about it, though.
think. No.
Well, he's obviously not thinking that she probably has cancer.
Yeah.
He's probably thinking that this is all hypothetical. But I'm like, you can't even say that. Like, what about your brother or your roommate?
Yeah.
Like, you would care. You know you would care. You're not just going to be like, I can't handle this and, like, bail.
I agree.
You're right.
I don't know if she should even hang out with this guy. Like, is he even worth her time?
I haven't thought he was worth her time from the beginning. I've been like, no,
Like
I don't like
something's
him.
off?
Yeah, I don't like Dominic. And he's not as cute as Leo.
Oh.
Well, she might be biased, though, because she does like him from Greece.
I do, but like I was looking at them when I was watching it earlier. I was like looking at them side by side when they were having that awkward meeting, and I was like, well, it's no question. Leo's taller. He's like more handsome. Like, yeah, Dominic has the dimples, but that's all he's got going for him, really. I think that Leo is just way more handsome, and she should date him, and they have so much more in common, except for that he's kind of like a jerk sometimes.
Why does she get two jerks? Can't she find a nice guy?
Well, she works with a jerk too. Like her coworker, that's Danny. Danny is such a jerk.
I think that he's a nice guy. He's just feeling low on the totem pole at work, and he's just like acting out. I think that that's all it is with him.
Yeah.
That could be it.
Speaking of people acting out on the show, April's little sister, Brenna, she's kind of a troubled young woman, teen, and she has her own issues, but we'll get into one that kind of was a big one tonight, where April originally was supposed to go take her mom to tango lessons, and unfortunately the tango lessons interfered with this campaign event. It was at the exact same time, and obviously she thought she was going to be getting this exclusive, so obviously that kind of trumped the tango, even though tango's kind of important with your mom. But she asked her little sister, hey, can you fill in for me? And the little sister completely bails.
Yeah.
And she felt bad. It seemed like at least a little bit. Like she felt bad when she realized she bailed, but I was still like, your mom is alone and she needs someone to go tango with her, and she just lost her boyfriend.
Did anyone see in this quick, I think it was like literally 10-second clip while her mom was at tango, who her partner was?
Was he from Dancing with the Stars?
It was Maxim Smirkowski.
That's what I thought.
Is he from Dancing with the Stars? Oh, they were tangoing it up.
They were tangoing it up.
Yeah.
They were getting down. So
He had
I don't
some moves.
I really don't think her mom missed either one of them.
No, she didn't.
I wouldn't have.
It was probably awkward at first, but she was like, thank you for not coming.
Yeah, she's like, I am
benefited.
okay.
I had a hot, sexy instructor that taught me how to tango.
So after the tango, April goes home and realizes that her sister,
knows.
completely bailed on her and starts blowing up on her and yelling at her like, how dare you miss tango with mom? That was the one thing you had to do. And her sister's like, you think your life is so hard because you work? And April's like, my life is hard. You don't even know. And her sister's like, okay, whatever. Like the typical like 16-year-old, like, okay,
I know,
whatever.
my brother does that to me all the time. It's all teenagers. I was like, I see that.
Yeah. And April completely has this breakdown where she's like, I have cancer. And it's out.
And we all cried.
And literally,
The tears came.
I'm sitting in my bedroom alone, like, oh my God. And I'm like messaging Michelle, like, oh my God, you're going to die when you
You're
watch
like, no one walk in on me.
Good thing I live alone. like literally, like, I want to cry right now. Like, it is a really hard moment. And then
it just hits you.
It literally just hits you.
Out of nowhere.
And then the next scene gets even worse.
Yeah.
Like, if they didn't, like, punch you in the gut the first scene, they got you on the next one for sure.
Like, the very end.
The very end. Where April, it's time for her to actually go in and get this biopsy and figure this whole situation out with her leukemia, see how bad it is, because obviously it's progressing a lot faster than
we anticipated.
Yeah, I mean, it's going pretty quickly now. And so in this last scene, April shows up at the hospital and her Uncle George is like, oh, it's just you? Like, you didn't bring anyone here? And she's like, no, I got this. Like, kind of trying to be tough for like a second, and lays down, and you can tell, like, she just, like, loses it.
She's,
and
like, bawling.
Yeah. And then right then, her sister walks in and is like, am I too late for this? And George is like, no, you're right on time. And it's just like, oh my God. I can't even.
Same.
I totally forgave her for being an awful little sister.
I did,
yeah. I was like, now, redemption, you have it. You're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that was...
It was gut-wrenching.
I can't even talk about it. Like, it was
I'm glad she showed up, though, because she's, like, April's already bawling, and you see the thing that's going to go in her bone. I was like, I couldn't even watch that part, but I'm like, oh, doing that by herself would just be awful. So I'm really happy that she had a hand to hold, or else I don't know how she would have gone through that by herself.
I have no idea. I mean, there's no way I could have done that by myself. There's no way.
She's a tough cookie.
She is.
Yeah, keeping that, like, the fact that she hasn't told anybody except for Beth, that's incredible. I feel like I would have told everybody already. Like, not even, like, sat them down. I would have blurted it out at some point.
Exactly, right? Like, I'm
sorry, I had cancer. That's how it would have come out. That's actually, it would have come out probably similar to that.
Yep.
The way hers came out. But I would do that to everybody.
So, that kind of wraps up this episode here. We got a lot to think about going forward, and we actually just found out that ABC Family has wrapped shooting on 20 episodes, which
Season 1.
It kind of gives us kind of maybe a hint that we're going to do 20 or 10 episodes this summer and possibly kind of break up the season like they do Pretty Little Liars and do the second 10 maybe in January, or the fall. So that
I can't wait that long.
I know. I could barely wait like a week for this show. Like, how am I going to wait like 4 months? There's no way.
No.
And Michelle, do you have some gossip for us today?
Yes, I do, actually.
AfterBuzz TV News.
So the guy who plays Leo, Scott Foster, he's actually going to be in the episode or in the show a lot longer than we had all thought. It was just because they really liked him. They said that his arc like changed, and so they wanted to feature him more throughout the show. And they think they're going to, keep doing it into the next season. And he said, said in a quote that as the series goes on, you see that there's more to Leo. And there's a reason why he's like kind of a jerk and like doesn't care about anything, which I'm excited to see.
Yeah.
I mean,
I want
interesting. Yeah, like I want to see him.
I could definitely see how his character would have more depth than just being a privileged kid from like a political family.
Yeah.
That could get good.
It could. Does anyone have any predictions of what they think might be happening in the next episode?
Now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I don't know about the next episode, but I think that somewhere in the future there's going to be a moment with April and Leo. Or maybe I'm just hoping. But I think that that's going to happen, and I'm like, they're going to kiss, or they're going to almost kiss, or he's going to try and kiss her, and she's going to be like, I have a boyfriend. Something like that. I see that going somewhere, because they definitely have some chemistry.
I think so too. Michelle?
I don't know at this point. There's just so much going on.
There is. I'm going to predict that either in this next episode or in the one after 2 weeks from now, that she's going to have to come out to her mom and let her mom know. Because now that the sister knows, there's no way they can hide this anymore. And I think with her leukemia progressing so quickly, I think she's going to have to. Her mom's going to find out.
I know. I think she's going to find out in this next episode, just from like the preview.
Yeah.
I think that she's going to find out.
Yep. All right, so let everybody know where they can find you.
You can follow me on Twitter at Kristin Strange.
And you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at _Michelle Phi.
I'm on Twitter and on Instagram at Heather Joy Smith. I also do the after shows for Young and Hungry, Mystery Girls, Rising Star, and I'll be on the red carpet this Sunday for Rising Stars, so make sure to look for those videos. All right, everybody, thanks so much, and we will see you all next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.